Hi everyone, I'm going to do a quick run through of all the keystrokes we're going to cover today. I'm using JAWS. I turned the speech off just to make things a little less
Full speech.
verbose, but we'll turn it on for this very first keystroke. Let's go through all of these different commands. Moving
One
through
of
a
7.
document, and I want JAWS
JAWS and
to
NVDA
stop
are the most
talking.
popular screen read.
Control to make JAWS stop talking. I can check the time by doing JAWS and F12.
10:53 a.m.
I can shut down my computer by using Windows X.
Windows X. Sign out.
And then I can press R for restart. I can press S for sleep. I'll go to the desktop with Windows D. I can move to the system tray using Windows B, and you can see my focus move to the system tray there. I can open the taskbar by going to Windows T. Will move my focus to the taskbar. I'm going to minimize all my windows using Windows M, but I already have them minimized. There we go. Windows M to minimize all of our windows. I'm going to open a program by tapping the Windows key and then typing the name of the program I want. I'll do Notepad. I can maximize a window by using Windows and Up key. I can move the window to the left or right by using Windows and left or Windows and right. In my application here, I have Notepad. I can move through the File menu by tapping Alt. And then I can use my arrow keys to move through all the options in the File menu. And I can use Escape to back out of this. I can switch between open programs by using Alt-Tab. I can just hold down Alt and continue pressing Tab to move between the open programs. I can save a file by doing Control-S. So I'll say save this file. Control-S. And that will prompt me to save this, where I can type in the text of my file and hit Enter, and that would save this file to my computer. It doesn't like that star that's in there. There we go, fixed. So in something like Word, the File menu, which is called the ribbon, is a bit more complex, but it's still fairly easy to navigate. So I can press Alt to get up into the ribbon. I can use my left and right arrows to move through the options, and up and down to move through the options. You can use Tab to jump to some of the different icons that are on here, or you can use Control and left and right arrows to move through categories of your options. So here I'm moving in the reference tab, moving between the footnotes section, the citation section, the captions section, quickly using Control and the right arrows. Next, if we want to start working with some of our files, I'm going to open our File Explorer, which is Windows and E. And I'll make this full screen so we can see it a little better. And you can start using your up and down arrows to move through the list of items. If I wanted to open a saved file, I could just hit Enter on that file and it should open right up. But let's say the file that I want to access is not found on this first screen. So I'm going to go into the tree view area on the left. I'm going to use Shift-Tab to do that. You can see my focus moved over there. I'm going to use my up and down arrows to pick the folder that I want. I'll hit Enter. And then I can tab back into the list region and move up and down to move through my files. There's some other kind of convenient ways to work through files. So if I wanted to go back to the file folder I was just in, I can use Alt and left arrow. If I want to go forward again, I can use Alt and right arrow. If I want to go to the folder that is housing the current folder, so the downloads folder is housed within this PC, I can use Alt up arrow, and that takes me up to the parent folder. Let's say I want to rename a file. I can use F2 to rename a file. I'm not going to save it, so I'll hit Escape. I can create a new folder by using Control-Shift-N, and that'll create a new folder for me to test now, test folder. And if I want to really dig into all the options for a folder, I can pull up the context menu, and that is like a right click, Shift F10. And then I can use my arrow keys to move through the options in the context menu. What about working with text? So working with text is not too bad. Some simple navigation would be up, down, left, right arrows. To move up and down, we'll move line by line. Left and right, we'll move character by character. I think we're fairly familiar with that. But I can also use those same keys with Control. And Control up and down will move me between paragraphs. So it might be hard to see, but my cursor is jumping to the start of each paragraph now. Or I can use Control left and right to move by words. Okay, and there's JAWS command where I can use caps lock, or the JAWS key, and the down arrow, and that will read everything from my current position until the end of the document. If I need to go to the very top of a document, I can use Control and Home. If I need to go to the very end, I can use Control and End. And let's say I need to actually work with some of this text. I want to select some of the text. Well, all I need to do is hold down Shift while I use some of my other navigation commands that we've already discussed. And I can go even all the way to the end, all the way to the beginning, and it's going to select all of that text as long as I'm holding Shift while I move. Then there's some kind of quick ways to delete words. I can use Control and Delete to delete a word in front of my cursor. I can use Control and Backspace to delete a word behind my cursor. And if I want to undo, I can Control Z. If I want to redo, it's Control Y, though in some applications it's going to be Control Shift Z. And if I want to pull up my spell check, that's F7. And finally, if we're working with selected text, once we have text selected, there's lots of things we can do with it. I can copy that text with Control C, and then I can paste that text with Control V. I can also cut text, so I can select and Control X to cut the text out and move it to a new place, Control V to paste it back in. There's also bolds, italics, and underlines, so I can do Control B for bold, Control I for italics, Control U for underline. Apply all of those styles. I can increase my font size by doing Control, Shift, and greater than, or I can reduce my font size by doing Control, Shift, and less than. And I can create a hyperlink, so I link onto the internet by using Control K, and you can type in your web address. I'll do nwresd.org. That's the dogs. If I need to center some text, I can do that with Control E. And if I want to apply a heading, I can hold Control and Alt and then press a number for that heading. So 1, 2, 3.